I'm never meal prepping as an empty.
Alright, alright. Cool. Got this off. I don't need you at the moment. See. Anything else I need? Here we are golden. We are golden. Alright guys, welcome back to another stream here. Or if you're watching this in the future, welcome to another video. I hope you guys are doing great, doing wonderful on this day. Today is to continue what we were working on yesterday. I think it's time to, now that I have the trees in an okay spot. I think still needs some finer tuning on those, but so right now it's looking pretty good. My goal is to start making it work again like it was before. Because the logic of how they were doing about chopping down the trees and all of that doesn't work anymore. So I'm gonna have to bring that back. And that is the goal for this live. Okay, let's double check. I was gonna do something I completely oh yeah, I was gonna test out this other music. Hold on, give me a second. Let me test out this other music here. No ad, please. Let's try out this one. Let's see if I like it or not. Cool. All right. So yeah, let's get started, shall we? Okay. So what I did in the last stream was I was towards the end. I was trying to figure out the shader that we were doing. I ended up figuring it out off screen after the stream. Later on the day, I was able to figure out how that is done, and also made the testing because I didn't want to go through all of that stuff every time. So I ended up making a testing. I did have to do some stuff in the back end with some scripting just to make it work. So it wasn't like an easy thing to do, but I was able to figure it out how to do it. So you get to see here right now it's black because the background is black, but this is what it's doing right now, which is great. Exactly what I wanted is to bring that back. Cool. And there's something down here. Not that it matters right now. Why is it blocking it? Is there something there? Shouldn't be anything there. Interessante. But anyway, so we have this tree. We gotta make it work now with the white sorting and all of that stuff. So created this scene and be able to drop in the tree here. And I can drag my player here and you can see that it kind of works, but one thing that I need to I need to make it work is that it does the white sorting at the wrong location. It should be doing it down here, right? So I need to update it so it doesn't on the top instead of at the bottom. I could probably do it here. So it should have done the white sorting by now, and it's not doing that. So let's get that working in there, shall we? We're gonna try a couple of the trees that we have. For now, let me just disable this and visually, well, I guess just visually not see it. Just so I can test this out a little bit better. And let's get into the sprite, and we want to like offset it, right? So now I believe it's I don't know if it's negative. Yeah, it has to be negative. Negatives. Oops, let me mute my phone. Mute phone, por favor. So we're gonna want to offset it. So if I go back into the test scene, you notice that the white sorting happens a lot later now, which is exactly where I want it actually. In the moment the player gets a maybe I can go a little less on it. Maybe the white sword can happen like around here. So let's do that. Let's do like negative. Let's do negative 12. So once you go maybe a little higher, let's do negative 10, I guess. Negative 10 or negative, you know, let's do 8. Go with 8 and let's see how that looks. I don't dislike it. Yeah, that actually works. Go. I would like to. Alright, so let's center that a little bit more now. So we can center it down here. There. So if I come in here, the white sword should still work regardless, which is great. Before it was happening all the way up here, right? But now it's a little bit lower, which is great. That looks to be okay. I want to test it in the test scene is to see if it actually is working. So let me bring my collisions back in here. And just use disabled. Alright. So let's run that scene real quick and we can check that out. Cool. So collision's working. And then white sorting working. Great. I feel like maybe I can bring that circle a little bit smaller. But other than that, that is actually looking pretty fine. Cool. So that is working. One thing I would like to test out is collisions. So it's this one. So let's disable this one. Am I still colliding with it? Alright. Okay, so no collision. Great. Just double checking on that. Okay. So we gotta do the same thing for the other trees that we just did. Right? So let's bring the other trees in here. We can test those guys in here. Let's drop it in here. Where we got a small tree. We got our tree trunks as well, which I gotta test out, and a smaller tree trunk. All right, so let's make those adjustments. Let's start with the small one. We probably would first of all, let's disable this one. The other one I actually don't need right now. I can turn that off for the time being. Then we want to offset this. Actually, where is the white sword happening in? Just put it in here. Okay, so the white sorting, you know, that might be okay actually. White sorting on this one doesn't look too bad. So if I'm going here and colliding with it already, going around, yeah, I think it should be fine. I don't see a problem with this. Maybe if anything, I'll probably make it a tiny bit lower, just to make sure that the origin point is within the center of that. of the collision. So let's make it a tiny bit lower. Let's make it -4. And then bring this down. So if I will go in here, yeah, that works. That works for me. So I'm colliding, boom, backward. Let's go. I'm gonna do the same thing for this one. It's a little bit, needs to go inside a little bit more. Because I here is too late already. I think it should be in the front already. So let's try that out. Let's go with the big tree trunk that I have in here. I think I want to go down, right? Not up. Oh, it's already -10, that's why. I would like to make it -5. I wonder why it was -5. Interesting. Whoops. I want to do on a tree trunk. There we go. Let's test it out in here. Can we go in here? Oh, it's still. Should have happened by now. It's -10 still? Did I change that? Oh, it's the position. My bad. My bad. Supposed to be the offset. Okay. There we go. So I should go inside then, right? Try that out. Yeah, there we go. I could probably put it a little bit higher. But I'm going here. Yeah, I could put it a little bit higher. It'll be great. I guess I can make a tendon. And then move this a little higher. Be there. Test it out again. No, that was too much. Because the collision is right here. And if I'm on top, I don't want it to go like just to, because I'm hitting right in on the point. Just to be safe, I think it's make it like 8 or 7. I'll meet it halfway. Yeah, that's perfect. I'm going around here, and it goes behind it. All right, cool. All right, let's test out the smaller one then. Let's hide the other one because I don't need it right now. Actually, where is the points? Where is the points right now? Yeah, that's in the bottom as well. Let's put 5 this time for the smaller one. Let's see where it takes me. Yeah, that's not too crazy. Let's change the. Oops, did I put it that high? There we go. That's where I want it to be at. Let's make sure it makes sense with the collisions. I prefer it just a tiny bit more inside. Let's put 4. Let's put 4 on that. Yeah, that should be okay. because that should be down here, right? I should not be colliding with it. And then I guess it comes behind it here. Cool. So we got the Y sorting in a good place. And let's see. I never actually tried this. It's been a long time since I've done this before where I can manually put stuff in here. So let's see if it works. Tool X. So if I run it in here, would it work? Oh, it does work. Let's go. I didn't even test that out till later. Well, but the inventory does not work though. Interesting. Okay, so that works, but I need to make the inventory work here. Alright, so we can dive in and figure out why the inventory did not work. Because if I make it work now, it will help me out a lot for testing and debugging stuff in the future. So I need to go to that pickable item. Going here, go to the script. Okay, so it's not in the script. I need to go to this pickable item class, and we can go through there and figure out what I need to do to make it work. Let's find that pickable item. Inventory, pickable item, and everything seemed to work. Alright, so this is what it was doing before with the UI. It was multiple items on. So it'll either show the UI or just automatically pick it up. Oh, maybe this is not. Well, yeah, it could be one of these things that's not going through here. Ah, that's why. Yeah. That's not gonna work out. This is my pickable. This callback is not being called here. This callback is not being called. It's not being set. Where do I set this callback at? Is it a function call that I'm doing? Yeah, set pickup callback. What I can do in a game manager is that when it loads it in, hold on, where do I find all references? Yeah. So it calls it in here and sets it this way. What I can do is that I can find all pickable items in the scene when it loads into the game. But I just let me double check that the pickable this has a group attached to it, and it looks like it does, and it's in the items group. Okay, so I can search for all of that. Okay, let's do that. Let's try that, adding that logic into here. Just add that logic. Initialize level. I thought I was doing that already. Hold on. Oh, because it has to be in the items group. Okay. Well, easy enough. Easy enough. Okay. Let's do that. So I need to just create a new child here, call it items root. And put that pickable item in here. Oh, I was already doing that. I just needed that logic here. And let me double check the spelling is correct. Items roots. All right, save that and let's run it real quick. Let's run it. All right. All right, buddy, go. No, I still didn't add it though. It did not add it. All right, let's go to my actual level scene here. So I had an items route. I need to tag it as an items route. Got it. Got it. I need to tag this as some items routes. Oh, I did not meant to play it. I just want to play the current scene. Now let's try this one more time. Hopefully it is, and it did not work. Interesting. I'm wondering maybe if I'm calling it too soon. Trying to figure it out right now. Item shoot, it goes through all the children. If it is a pickable item, it adds the inventory item to the inventory manager get. I wonder if I'm calling it too soon before everything else gets initialized. So give me a second to think about this. What's it called here? Is it called a yield? Get tree. Hold on, what's the name of that thing? Idle frame. There's more something idle frame, maybe in the roots. Maybe process frame, maybe that's what I was thinking about. I don't remember if it was called yield. Oh wait. Alright. I don't think that's a problem. Maybe it is. Maybe it is. It is. Cause hold on. So if I go to test, I just call everything right away. Maybe I just need to wait a little longer. Let's put a timer on it. Or a process frame. Let's do create timer. Let's wait 5 seconds. That probably is too much. I just want to make sure it actually is working, and then we just wait for a timeout. Oh, wrong scene. Oh, I am in the right scene. Oh, there we go. Yeah, the 5-second thing. All right. No, that still did not work. Alright, so I'll have to I'm gonna have to debug this and go in there. But I'm gonna have to do this like quick. It's only have 5. Let me see if 5 seconds is enough for me to actually debug. No, it can't be. Let's do 15 seconds. Just so it gives me time to attach the debugger and do all of that stuff in here. I'll put a debug point there. Is there a quick shortcut for it? It's Control Alt P. Control Alt P. Alright, let's see if I can try to do that. Run current scene. Control Alt P. Select the window. Like that. Attach. Let's see if I had enough time to actually go in there. There we go. Alright, so let's go in here and figure out why it's not going in there. So player finds it. Got my unique data. Okay, so it is in there. Items, roots. It is attached to it. So it's being added to my inventory already, which is fine. Is there a certain callback that I need to do to make this work then? So I have a pickable item. Okay. So it looks like it is going in there. So the next thing will be to go to my pickable item and check why it's not calling this. Right? So let's just continue and let's try picking it up. Maybe there's something called I need to do to update the UI so it knows that I have it. Yeah, that is going in there. Oh, it's not. Not valid? I mean, I don't know what all of this stuff means. Huh. Well, I guess it's not being called. Hold on, give me a second here. So come in here, scratch the icon, editor is not active, blah blah blah. Uninitialize. We call initialize. Pass in the item key name, which does work, because we're seeing it. I'm just a little why it just didn't go there, even though we do set the it. But if we set it already, why was it no? Inventory manager, get on that. Get on. Or maybe I need to do it on this one instead. It's using a game manager pickup. Hold on. That might have been an old one that I was using. What is this one doing? If I check the back in there, add item. Maybe this one isn't the one that I need to call now. The one on top is probably old already, and I don't need to call that. And it should be be on this. That. Let's try that one. Let's build this. I don't think it matters though, because it said it didn't know what the callback was. Cool. Alright, so I got that building. Let's lower this down to like maybe 3 seconds instead. And let's run that scene. I could probably detach the debugger just to double check that it is working. Give me a second, I'll need to wait for the initial one. So let's Control P to attach this scene. Attach por favor. And let's go into the pickable item and we'll go through that and see what's up. There. I mean, it has stuff in it that I have no idea if it actually means if it's valid or not. But it looks like it is. It went through there. You know what? I think the inventory manager on at item doesn't work anymore. I think. Ooh, I love this music. There we go. Oh, General Iroh. The one that was singing that song. Oh man. Ah, it's bringing tears to my eyes already. The question is that there's no... There is... Let's see how that's gonna work. Let's move my player closer to it. So I need to figure out if it's still gonna work, because when you click on a tree or whatever, it uses the A star to walk towards the tree, and once it gets closer it will then do the logic for it. Go to the handled input here. I think it was the left mouse that I'm using for my actions. So the tile info is for the one where I click my mouse on, and I have it. If I have a slot active, checks against it. If it's a fishing rod, I don't need to check for that. If it's soil, that means I'm tilling soil. Not worried about that right now. If it's an environment, the problem is there's no tile info here. Well, this environment is not going to work anymore. This environment ain't gonna work no more. Well, let's just keep going. This right one only does for weapon. Okay, so it may be a right one. Oh, this is for actual weapons though, like the dagger or the sword then. Okay. So no, it's definitely the left click then. I'm not doing any planting actions. Retrieve info. Plotted tile completes. Player move completes. There we go. That's the one I was looking for. So if not busy, And if it does a path, okay. So by default is true. If it doesn't fall into any of these, and then tries to do a path, and then move. Wait, hold on. Problem is that there isn't going to be anything in here because there's nothing here to do a path on, since there's no A star. But double check. So even if it doesn't have anything, it should automatically go to move complete. So I'll move complete. It's hooked up to this. Hey Tall, welcome to the stream. You're not using Quacky today, huh? Yeah, did you fix the shader from the trees? Yeah, I fixed that already. It should be in a good spot already. That is in a good spot. Okay. First of all, I need to know if I'm actually even going in here. So we can add a breakpoint here and see if I'm even going in here at all to begin with. So let's try that. And let's try that. Let's go in here. We'll attach the process to it. And we'll put a breakpoint here. Let's see if it's even going in this function. So if I have to select it. Okay, so it's not even going in that function. So let's go into, put the breakpoint somewhere else and see if we can figure this out. Put the breakpoint there when I do a left mouse click. Oh, it's not even calling that either. Interesting. Oh, because there's no main tile. Well, that's a good okay, so we gotta set the main tile map then. That is the problem right now. There is a tile map already. I just need to make sure that I set it correctly. There'll be a place where I'm calling that. Oops. Damn it. There we go. Let's use that instead. There we go. So tile map parents. Where is this being called at? Okay, so it calls it in here on the initialized level, which is exactly what I would like to do. Yeah, I made a test scene. I had to do it, but I gotta fix some errors, not errors, but things that I need in order to work in the testing. So that's what I'm doing right now, just fixing this stuff to make it easier on me in the future. So we call test error here when there's a tile map in here, which is just a node, and then you pass it in here. And this is just a node. Next, and get the child of, yeah, that should work. Okay, let's try that out. So I already have a tile mapping here as my testing, but it doesn't have this thing here at all. So let's try that. Okay, so now we got this stuff working. So the question here is why it doesn't do anything when I'm clicking the tree. So let's add a breakpoint. Select window, select that, attach. And let's go back down to my left click. So it looks like it is doing something though. Let's search for that again. Or what's that? Input. Unhandled input. There it is. We'll put a breakpoint. Okay, so it's already there. Sweet. So it's already attached to it. So, all right. So it got triggered. Now let's figure out hi world. If it's busy, which it's not because it's not doing anything right now. I retrieved the towel info. Okay, so that's the problem right now. This is not a soil, and this is the problem that I have right now because the tree is not an environment. This is not a tile anymore. So what I gotta do, since the tree is not in tile anymore, what other checks can I do? I can do like a sphere cast or something. See if I'm nearby a tree. Or at least on the mouse. I can check to see if I hit something. Because I checked to see if I clicked on it's too far away. Then that means there wasn't any A-star happening for me to continue this action. Because the player is too far from where I clicked on. And I can do like a sphere casting here where I can do an ore and see if I actually went through here. See, this is not going to work anymore because it's not a towel anymore. I wonder if I can cheat it a little bit. And make it like a blank tile in the back. No, I don't think that was gonna work. Just so that I can still use this logic. I don't know about that. Because I'm gonna have to take account for this. If it's a tree, I'm gonna have to remove this out of here. So it determines what action it's gotta do. Or I can put it outside somewhere else for the trees instead. So it only does this action if it's a tree. And the item that I have equipped is an axe. It looked 2 errors on the bottom left panel. Yeah, I'll keep that in mind. But right now there isn't any errors. It's just the logic of how I'm handling trees now. Because before they were using tile map, and now they're actually is a node 2D now that respawning instead. So I gotta change that logic now because that does not work anymore. So I'm wondering if I do a sphere cast and check to see if that sphere cast is hitting this tree or anything nearby, and if it is a tree, then we go to that logic there. Do I have any utilities for? Do I have any utilities to do a sphere casting here? Or some type of physics ray casting here? Oh, I do have a sphere collision class. Sweet. I can pass in a collision mass. Let's go. It's a static function too. I'm glad I created that utils right there. So we'll do that. we'll do that physics thing. And player too weak to cut that tree, tries chainsaw. Let's say he has to smack it a couple times. Alright, so we want to do just physics, sphere collision, and we want to get the world. Now use engine here, and say get world 2D. You want to pass in the position of the tile that I clicked on. I need this in the world. In the world position. I might just use get mouse then, right? Did that work? Last mouse click and last. Okay, I have last mouse click. Sweet. On the radius. No, let's do a 5. It doesn't have to be that huge. I need to figure out this collision mask in a bit. I think I have collision mask already. What is the collision layers? And it's not tree detection. Is it level or environment? Environmental? Might be environmental. I'll double check on that. And then it returns me a list of recast infos. Okay, so it's a STD vector raycast info array infos. I'll pass that in here, and that should be it. This returns the boolean regardless. So if this collides with something, we can print it out and see what's up. What happens in here? Error log. What info does this give me? It's been a while since I created that class. Can I get a name for it? I do not get a name for it. I mean, I get a collider node. Let's see if rate infos. We might most likely want to iterate through all of these then. That size. And inside of here, I want to make sure that there is a collider node. And if so, we print out its name. We'll print out the name for it. Get name. And for whatever reason there isn't any collider nodes, at least I want to print out a log to at least tell me that something's happening. Hidden something, but no name. I don't know, whatever. Okay, so let's try this out. I mean, let me double check that array was 8. What is the collider for this one? For the tree. Let me look into that. Yeah, it has an 8 on it. It's a level node and it has a mask of 8. Because it is... Wait, that's not the one I was thinking of. It doesn't have an environment node here. Let me know if it actually works though. Let's test that out. Let's reload the scene. pick up that. Actually, I don't even need to pick it up. I don't think so. That's the... Okay, so I can get an ID path, which is fine. It's not the problem. Okay, so I'm not getting anything for this point here. Is it even active? Is it? Yeah, it's not disabled. It might be the wrong collision mask that I'm using. No errors. Or printing out that log. Is either that or the position is wrong. Let's try this one here. It's either that or the position on my mouse click. Oops, it's wrong. Yeah, there's no path, so that's why I'm getting these errors here, but I don't see... Let's double check this again. Recast infos. A mouse click. I can print out my mouse click. Let's try that. Error log, just to see what coordinates this mouse click is on. Mouse position. Let's try that out. Let's build it. Then I'll check it against the player or the tree and see the positions on it and see if it's nearby there. So it's either that, either the position is wrong or my collision layers is incorrect here for sure. That tree isn't normal. Oh, the game is running. Let's stop that so I can build it. And if both of those things wrong, then I'm gonna have to go inside this function and see what's happening in there. Okay. Alright, so let's get close to it. Oh, hey, I finally got something. Why is it working now? It wasn't working before. Oh, I know why. Okay, so let me... How do I get this? Because it doesn't show the logging here. It shows it on my terminal console. So let's make you a little bit smaller. And I can move this to the side. You can see that it's hitting a static 2D body, but it's happening on the bottom, but that's because that's where the collision for the tree is. And now I gotta use the other collider. Cool, at least that's working. I just gotta make sure it's hitting the correct one there. Let's go to the tree scene. So instead of using the one that I was using right now, so let's remove these. It's gotta use this other one here, because that collision box is a lot bigger, and that's the collision box that I want to use. So it's disabled. Let's check. It doesn't have any of that other thing that I was looking into. I'll just put it as 9. We're checking for environmental. And let's see if it's hitting this one. At least that's the plan. So let's get in there. Let's make sure it's actually hitting it. Or I can make another mask for only trees. Make this a little bit smaller. Okay. Okay, so it doesn't detect this other one. And I'll... It's not detecting the other one. It detected the second one, the one earlier. It's not disabled. Yeah, I'm not hitting enemy. Do. Or you know what? I wasn't even scrolling down. That's my mistake. Okay. Okay, so it is setting it. My bad. I just didn't scroll down. Alright. I was about to say, like, why is it not working? Should we... Okay, cool. So now that it's working, I would like for this to work then. So we got something hitting. And if we did, that means that we're hitting something that is an environmental. Let's remove all these logs. For now, I'm just gonna automatically say that this is a tree. I'll clean it up afterwards. So I'm gonna say it's false, and if it did hit something, then we say it is a tree. We don't have to loop through all of them, so we can just break from there. I just want to make sure. I just want to see if this is it is working. So I can say if it's environmental or it's a tree, and the same thing here, where I can just say I gotta remove that, but let me just make it work first. And it should go through here now. I was debating on this is gonna work or not, because there's nothing in that. There's nothing in the tile map right now to make this work. I can this determines the direction that the player should face in order to do the action. So if it has to face the direction, it has a tile map, it faces it. If it's I don't have any seeds equipped, so it should perform the action afterwards. Okay, so let's build it and let's see what this does. Sconce. Let's do a sconce. For a holy place game, too much paint around it. That can be. There's always paint everywhere. That's my take for it. It didn't build it. Or this running. My terminal. Where'd it go? There we go. Alright, so it's done building. I actually don't need the terminal right now. I can just hide in the background for now. Okay. Now it's a building. You know, let's go into my test scene. And we can do some stuff in here. Let's put some stout towel stuff in here for right now. Or I can use this thing here for the time being. Just so it's not 100% like black everywhere. So we'll just do that. And let's run this test scene. Let's see if it does any action. Or if it doesn't crash at all. So let's grab that. There we go. It's actually doing the action now. Let's go. So now I wanted to do something and make it work how it was in a tile map. So it will do like a shader effect on it when it gets hit. So I gotta determine how to do that with how I was doing it before. Okay, and the watering can on a harvesting, so action completes. The problem before is that it was using a tile map. Let's go into the actions for the axe. Okay. We gotta process info here. We gotta initialize it with the player animation tree. We do the primary action. Check to see. It tells me what I'm actually hitting. We do a tree detection. I should probably do that instead if it's a tree detection. Like now you can timber all the world. Not yet. I still gotta do all this other stuff when it comes to chopping down the tree. I'm able to do the action, but the tree doesn't do anything with it. So I gotta bring that back again. Let's see. If an axe, we can do this and change it to a tree detection instead. I'll do that after I have it working. This determines the ray direction. It does all this other stuff. And I guess it goes into the process. And it does a ray cast with that collision mask. Okay, I see. So, actually, you know what? Let's use that tree detection mask instead of the one that I used. So instead of environmental, let's use the tree detection instead. And we'll update the... We'll update the collision mask for that tree. It's not running, right? Cool. Build away. Build away. Build away. Alright, let's go to the tree. And let's make sure you're using collision mask instead. Little 9. I don't know if it's transparent. It might be the transparent area. Or the tree. You know, let's double check. Because I don't want to mess that up and build it all over again. The collision mass is 11. Okay, so it should be fine. It is 2048. 2048, cool. So let's switch it to 12. So I got that. And let's go. In here. So if it does a collision and it actually works out, it's a collision node. The problem is that it converts it to a tile map, and it's not a tile map. So instead, what I gotta do is I gotta do an else statement here. So else, I'm assuming that it's just a regular node. Let me see. It's just a node 2D, and I can grab the material for it and do all this other stuff that I'm doing. Let's just copy it for now. I'll probably create a function so I'm not duplicating the code for that after I have it working. Let's get this hit info, and we'll get the material for this guy instead. And I just wanted to keep smacking it and doing all of the stuff that it needs for this shader here. I double checked that the shader is good. I set the parameters for the stuff that it needs. Create a tween so that it updates the hit intensity over time. And then plays it and does a screen shake. Okay. Cool. So let's build this. I should probably check to see if there's actually a node in here. I'll probably do that after. So easy and faster now. Yes, it is. That's why I needed to do it. I should have done it yesterday in the stream, but the time was already running out. But yeah, I definitely creating a testing definitely helps out. Okay, cool. So let's build it. Let's make sure I'm in the correct scene, and let's run that scene. And let me let me hydrate real quick. Alright, let's pick up this bad boy here. Okay, so it is not detecting collision for that right now. Or it's doing the act, so that means it's working. But why is it not actually doing anything? So let's attach it and let's figure out why. Is it even going to here at all? Is the question. So let's go in here. Okie dokie, and player move. Okay, so it is going in here with this collider node. Oh, you know why? I know why. Because this is the collision, the static body. So I need to make it to be the sprite. Okay. I know the problemo. So what I gotta do here is Godot node to the collider parents equals the collider node and get owner. Is it either get owner or get parents? I'm gonna say owner for now. It's just a node actually. So with this, we gotta find a find child, and I think I just called it a sprite to be, or what? Make it work first and then start thinking about how to fix it. Sprite to be sprites. Oh, we have to cast it. Actually, you know what? We can keep it as a node. It doesn't have to be a sprite. Let's call it a It's just a no pointer, right? I think I can still. Now I'm gonna have to cast it regardless. Hold on, can I get the material in a node pointer? Get material. No, I cannot. So it has to be a node 2D. Might as well just cast it to a sprite then, since I'm doing a cast anyway. Cast to those sprites 2D. And instead we'll use this instead to get the material, and just to make sure there isn't any crashes or anything, let's make sure we do some checks around it. So we do the same thing for the sprite. Okay, so let me double check that we're actually, the name for it is a sprite 2D. Yes, it is. Okay. Another thing I was thinking that I was planning to do is probably just call it in GD script, since I know my owner, the tree already has a script. So I can call like a hit function or something, and then does all of this stuff for me already inside. The only thing I may not be able to do is probably this inside, and do a screen shake out of it. Maybe I can still do it. Yeah, I should still be able to do it. It's because it's running. Well, let's see how this one goes right now. Let's see how it goes. Okay, it is done building. And let's run this one. Pick up that. There we go. Let's go. So that is back. It needs a little bit more tweaking in certain areas though. I need to probably increase that collision box a little bit more. But overall, it is looking good. Yeah, and let's make it work for the other trees then. So let's get that in here. Let's make it work for the other trees. Actually, another thing I would like to do in here. Where's my tree at? Let's turn this off real quick. I would like to add another sprite. To D. And let's put that. This is gonna be like the shadow of the tree. And let's load a shadow in here. I'll use the same one as the player for now. It might be too small, but we'll see. You can probably increase the scale of it or something for the time being. I think I have it under character. Cool. Okay, so there's the shadow. I gotta fix it up. Suja, welcome to the stream. Suja the gamer. I like that. Welcome, welcome, buddy. Alright, so I need to increase that shadow and make it a bigger. We can increase the scale right now so I can see it. Do that. And then increase the size of it. That's a thought. Make it twice as big. Okay, there we go. Cool. So let's move it up closer to the tree. It needs to be a lot higher. Oops. Yeah. There we go. A little bit lower. Alright, buddy. Let's make it like a 32. Okay. Here's his shadow here. I could probably move it a little bit to the right a little bit and then maybe a little lower. Those are -30. Put 2. There we go. There we go. There we go. Alright, so now let's fix this small tree then. Now that I have the other one working. Going here, let's double check that I don't have any stuff in here that I need to do. Let's fix this up. Make it 12. Let's enable it back. I am a beginner, so all of this stuff is looking very complex to me, but good work, brother. Thank you, thank you. How long have you been doing into game dev? Y'all? Okay. Is there anything else that I needed to do? It was just that, enabling that. And that's basically it. Make sure the C index and all that stuff is correct. This one has a 0 on it. Let's rename this to Big Tree. Alright, let's test it out and see if it works for the small one. Alright, so let's test out this one over here. There we go. Let's go, buddy. And let's make these other ones work. Okay, let's add sprites. And this one, I'll use it as a test for now so I can see the back side of it, and then we'll add another sprite for the shadow for this guy. Most likely to be in the top here, and let's load in that shadow that I used earlier. So 1 month, I created a space shooter game that was easy to create through tutorial. Nice, that's a great way to start. I love space shooters. I love space shooter games. I created a couple already. But yeah, that's a great start. What engine are you using? Are you using Godot too? Let's add that in here, and now I can see it a little bit better, which I should have done in the other one. And let's increase that scale a little bit, and then we can. Where did it go? Does a Y sort matter? Interesting. I've never seen that happen before. Another thing I can do is probably just increase that for right now. Probably make that just a tad bit bigger, and move it like around here, a little bit to the right too. Okay, well, we can delete this one and then revert that back. There we go. Now it has a little tiny shadow on it too. Let's go to the big tree trunk and let's make that work here as well. And let's disable that. Let's put the collision max on this. Sure, I can disable it for now. I need to disable it later on though, so I gotta remember that. And then, you know, let's do the shadow thing again for this guy. So we just load in a quick. No, I don't want to do a quick load. Assets, arts, character. Actually, I meant for this to be the white one, but that's okay. Might as well do it now. We got the shadow there already. Let's add a note for this. Let's add the white stuff in the back. That white texture, just as a reference. Let's put that in the back. Cool. And we can increase around there. Okay, so I gotta do the same thing here. Visibility, ordering. Yeah, I created it in Godot in mobile. It was hell, I believe it. I don't have a PC or laptop, so I could. Wow, that's a good way to. That's a crazy way to start, actually. But hey, if you got it working, that's great. If you have it working, that is great. All right, I think I probably. I don't even know. Does it even? I would put it a little bit smaller. Leave it like that for now. All right, so I can revert this back, delete the background, and we can test that out. Yeah, that's crazy having Godot working in mobile. I heard people doing that. I've never seen it myself though. All right, so let's double check sliders, everything working. All right, so let's run it. Let's see what's up. And what's up, Quacky? Why the question marks? And which country are you living in? I'm in the US. Sujal. You're from India. Damn. Well, thank you for watching from India. Alright, so we got this one working. And we had this one working. Is this one working at all? Let's go. I got the shaders and all stuff back in order for this. Hold on. Yeah, I noticed this was wrong. And that's why is this on 1? Why is this on 1 on here? Wait, hold on. And 0 down there. Okay, let me double check. So okay, so it's a 1 already. So that's my mistake here. It should be a 0 here. Okay, cool. Now let's make the small one work. And this should have the same collision mask on it. What time is it actually? Ooh, I got at least 15 more minutes. Enable the collisions for those. And let's add the shadow for this one too. I just have that in the background for now. Let's add another node. And let's add that shadow showing. Oops, wrong location. Not Android. Come on now. The art. Let's get the shadow in here in place. Now let's make sure this is 1. Ordering. Yeah, everything's looking good. Visibility on this one, I don't know why it's all bad. Okay, get the transform a little bit up. It looks like it needs to be scaled up a little bit more. Alright, we can leave it like that. Move it a little bit to the right and maybe a little bit inside. I'll leave it like that for now. Delete the background. Okay, so let's test that one. Test that one out. All right, that looks looking good. Sorting is back to normal for that one. We have this. Great, all different sides. Okay, let's go. All right, this is great. Cool. Oh, I need to be really close to it. Okay. Cool. So I got those stuff working now. Now the next thing, I'd like to clean this up a little bit. So I am I tried to create a 3D game, but you're up and up ruining it. Okay, yeah. I mean, 3D is a big step up. So, but hey, if you can do Godot mobile, I don't know how hard that actually is, but I feel like if you're able to do that, you should be able to eventually get to 3D. You'll get there, Sujal. You'll get there. I believe in you. Alright, so let's make this work. So I got this owner here, and instead of doing all of this stuff, my plan will be to let's say pass method and say something like on hit or something, and then call that method, and we will do all of this logic that I did in here inside of there. So each of the trees already have a script. So what I would do is just call the function that stays on hits. I would just like to move it over here. Hold on, before I even do that, I got options. I can pass in the player position in it and the face direction. Right? I can pass in the face direction, all of that into this function. It'll be this and this. The question, do I want to do that? Because I am doing it already on top. Do I just create a function and we'll do it for both? But yeah, that's only if I want to go in that direction. No, it's not complicated ourselves today for that. And just clean it up and call a different function inside. Inside here instead. Where's this action here? We can say void on hits, and what we will do in here is that I would like to pass in a Godot ref, Godot shader material here. Right? Shader material, okay. So we'll create a class shader material here so it doesn't cry on me later. And let's create this function, and I'll pass all of that info. I'll pass all of this stuff that's inside in here, and all we'll do is just double check that it's valid. If it's not valid, then just return, and we'll use this material instead. Okay, so we got that. And then we'll just call this function instead. And just say sprite, yeah, material. And I don't need any other stuff in here. Same thing here. I'll just call on hit tile data get material. I remove this out of here, and this one too. UI is the same as PC, but in a small screen, it is very difficult to control all with touches. Yeah, I bet, man. I bet that can be hectic sometimes, or at all times, I should say. You have to like zoom in all the time. To be able to click on stuff. Like pinch to zoom and all of that to get closer to some of this stuff in here. Yeah, that's gonna be crazy. Alright, let's run it again, just double checking that everything's working again. Still. Cool. So all of that stuff is working again. Still. Sweet. So the next thing will be to be able to determine. So every time you hit in a tree, if it's a full tree, like this, after hitting it 3 times, it's got to change to a tree trunk now. In the tile map, it was actually pretty easy. All I had to do is just change the atlas coordinates, and that's it. But this one is different. I mean, it can still be easy. I change the texture, right? I don't really want to spawn another one. I think changing the texture will probably be the best option. Yeah, I think so. Because I really don't want to spawn another thing. Changing the texture. So we got to do that. And after hitting 3 times again with this, I should be able to just destroy it or despawn it. I gotta get the resources out of this as well. When I hit the tree, it's gotta give you wood. I gotta bring that back. And I gotta get into the save data. So every time you hit a tree or whatever, it's gotta save it and keep track of it. So that way when we reload back in, it's working. So I got to bring that back again. So there's a couple more things, like 3 things, right? Changing the texture after hitting it 3 times, getting the resources out of it, and then making sure the save data is working again for these. And that's basically about it. I'll probably have to get that in the next stream. I'll probably most likely. So I'll be doing something in the morning tomorrow, so I'll most likely won't be on tomorrow. So I'll probably be here on Monday, I guess. Yeah, I'll probably be on Monday. So where did you got all the sprites? You made them? No, I did not make them. I did make some sprites, but for the trees, I got them out of itch.io. There are some free assets in there that I was able to use, and I'm just using it temporarily for now. I may end up updating it in the future. So like this tree, something from itch.io, I did change the color, like the green. I wanted it to be a little bit more bluish teal color, I guess, whatever bluish greenish this is. And yeah, but there are some assets that are mine. But yeah, I'm just using free assets at the moment from itch.io. temporary assets. Okay, cool. I think I'm gonna be calling it for now, guys. It is time for me to go. I gotta get ready for work, and I'll be here maybe Monday. So I'm trying to be, since I have a contract job now, I got a little bit more time than I did before. Because before I had to like figure out what I was gonna do to pay for food and put food on the table, but now that I have a contract job, I don't really have to worry about it. It's just a temporary, like a month contract, but with that I'm able to stream a little bit more often, so I do plan on doing that. So I'll be here on Monday. I'm planning to be here for the month of June to stream on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and if I don't do anything on Saturday mornings, I'll stream Saturday mornings for the month of June. At least I like to try that out, see how that works. But that's basically about it. I will talk to you guys later. Hope you guys have a great day, a wonderful night, depending on your time, and I'll see you guys later. Signing out, guys.